Hi, my name is Delia Davila. I'm going to be talking to you today about using CAT tools for DTP projects. So you probably know that DTP stands for desktop publishing. It's a common term for brochures and other things that are going to print or for the web. CAT tools that's a standard translation industry abbreviation for computer-assisted translation. The tools help a human translator by allowing them to work more quickly and effectively. The main way that this is done is it allows a translator to reuse previous translation, either something that's already in the document that they've already done, or using translation memory to bring in previous translations. For DTP projects, there's another great added value of separating format from content, and you'll see a little bit what this looks like. So first, let's take a look at what the world of translation of a brochure would look like before CAT tools. So here's this pretend brochure in the InDesign program, a very common desktop publishing program. So you would be ready to have this translated, but most translators would not have this file, this format to work in. So the first thing we would do in-house is take all of this information and put it into a common program. So this would be a Word document that would contain all of the information needed. Often would keep the formatting so that the translator could change the formatting as needed and translate correctly into the format. So once the translator has it in a document, such as a Word file, a couple other different types of ways to use this, but they would have it in a format that they could translate from left to right. And they would be responsible for some of the formatting because they would need to know where the correct formatting occurred. And then after the translator finishes it, it would come back and be pulled from the translation back into the program, to the original file, piece by piece. So sometimes this could happen in big chunks, but sometimes that wouldn't work so well, and you'd actually have to do word by word. Here's an example of that. If you take this whole chunk and put it in, it won't take the correct formatting of both pieces at the same time. So in order to do it correctly, you'd have to take one piece and then the next piece. So a very complicated formatting job would actually take a lot of this piece by piece pulling in and formatting. So once all of the information is into the original document, you would have to clean up the format. This is a pretty common problem, just translation expands. So you'd have to clean it up so that it looks like it was intended to look. So you would give it a final product, more or less. You'd have your original and then you would have your translation. At this point, you would format and you would proof the format. One of the problems if you're in a rush would that you might be proofing the translation and the format at the same time, which would require different changes that would then have to be reproofed. And that's pretty time-consuming occasionally and often would get problematic and complicated. So that's a lot of steps. It was very time-consuming, and there was a lot of room for error. So one of the great things about CAT tools is it minimizes the effort, but it also minimizes the chance of error. So with the CAT tool, you upload the file to the CAT tool. The formatting is converted into tags that you don't need to worry about. The translator just works directly in that program. They leave the tags. They don't worry about it. The translation is exported back into the original document, and then it's ready for cleanup. So here's the first step, setting up the project. The translator can work directly in this CAT tool, so it's very quick and easy for just adding them to the translation. Here's what they see. You can see that there's some tags on the bottom left. And on the upper right, you can see where they would add TM, or they would have access to TM if there was some tied to the project. You can see that they don't actually have to figure out what font or any of that kind of stuff. It's all done in the tags, and it's all automatic. And then, at that point, when the translation is final, you can just export it and clean it up. And then the final review happens after the translation is final. What that means is you can have an editor or a proofer look at the translation while it's in the CAT tool And then once the translation is finalized, you pull that out and you're ready to look at just the format. So you're at the final translation and you don't have to be sending it back and forth. And that's it, and it's much, much quicker, and there's just a lot less room for error, which is really great. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was helpful and informative. If you have any questions, please visit our website or give us a call, or you can contact me directly at this information. Thank you.